All right, good morning, folks. It is June 23rd, 2023, and happy Friday. Hope you guys enjoyed this week, full of news, full of events, and we got a lot to unpack here in today's episode. We got an absolute banger about to drop for you guys, folks. $15 trillion earthquake. The party is just getting started, and we're going to make sure that everyone here on this channel is tapped in. Now, if you guys want to join us in our Discord community weekly call, that's going to be taking place tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do these every single Saturday. Last weekend, we didn't have our Discord weekly call because we had our Discord meetup down in Dallas. So huge shout out to the Discord community, 2 years running strong. If you're looking to get tapped in with the family, head on over to the website, zachrector.com. Without further ado, guys, let's get right on into it. So at the time of this recording, about 7 a.m. on the West Coast, 6:23. 30,000 is the price for our Bitcoin, right? They're right about 30,105, 1874 for Ethereum, and XRP's actually below 50 cents. Why is XRP down? XRP beat up a little bit, down to 48 cents. Okay. All right. 4891 for your XRP. Taking a look at the sticks, you can see that Bitcoin did have a major breakout over the past few days, back above 30K. I'm getting wrecked on my Bitcoin short. You guys can make fun of me all you want. 29,139 is when I entered my short, and I'm waiting to enter again. I will not be liquidated because I still got cash on the sidelines ready to deploy. I don't know if you would call that trading responsibly or not. I really don't care. I'm just having some fun, and I like to put some skin in the game just so that I can watch where the market's going a little bit more closely, right? When you got some money, some skin in the game, you watch it a little bit more closely, so that's why we do that. Have a little fun, right? Now, let's get right on into the update, guys. First off, we're going into current events, the situation continuing to unfold. Remember, I'm not here to get political. I'm here to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. So with that being said, let's get right on into it. World War III update to start us off. It looks like they are preparing us, a little pre-predictive programming for a situation that could get nuclear over there in the Ukraine war. So this tweet here, Kim.com retweets Zelensky. Zelensky says, "We have just had a report from our intelligence and the Secret Service of Ukraine. Intelligence has received information that Russia is considering a scenario of a terrorist attack on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant." Sorry for butchering that word. "A terrorist attack with radiation leakage. They have prepared everything for this. Unfortunately, I have repeatedly had to remind that radiation has no state borders, and who it will hit is determined only by the wind direction. We share all available information with our partners." Yep, got it. "There should never be any terrorist attack on nuclear power plants anywhere. This time, it should not be like with Kakova. The world has been warned, so the world can and must act." So, we know what's going on here. Kim.com says, "The nuclear power plant it is. Russia did not blow up Nord Stream. Russia did not blow up the Crimea Bridge. Russia did not blow up the dam. Russia did not fire missiles into Poland, and Russia did not drone the Kremlin. Russia won't blow up the power plant." It's really hard to confirm, what's taking place in this region. Both sides lying, both sides positioning on the war front. And so we continue to pray for peace, and we continue to, see how this is going to break down. We reported on the news yesterday that I think, what was it, BlackRock and JP Morgan, they're going to be building the restructuring bank in Ukraine. So we know that the deals are getting done, and we know that they're covering up some serious operations that were taking place in that country. That country was used by the cabal. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just, take a look at it. But the American lawmakers are positioning the setup here, the predictive programming as well. You got the war hawk himself, Lindsey Graham, one of the worst politicians we have here. And, like I said, I don't get political. I call out both sides. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal, Democrat, both war hawks, both terrible for this country. But they are preparing us. If Russia launches a nuclear strike on Ukraine, it will go to war with NATO. So we have these senators registered a draft bipartisan resolution in the Senate declaring Russia's use of nuclear weapons in Ukraine or the bombing of the nuclear power plant as an attack on NATO, requiring the application of Article 5 in the alliance. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is just to put it out there. This is the predictive programming. This is what they're getting us ready for. Now, I remember back in the day, there was a time in this country where Congress actually had to declare war before we went to war. Nowadays, through our three-letter agencies, through other, military contractors, through other ways of influencing these countries. We are getting involved in everybody's affairs without declaring war officially, which is unconstitutional. Miscalculating, having an accounting error, and finding another $6.3 billion for Ukraine is an abomination, right? And we wonder why our country's going broke, and we wonder why we're going to lose the reserve currency status. This is all underway because we have war hawks like this on both sides of the aisle that have sold us out and are willing to send our men and women, our good military members who are just trying to do the right thing. They send them to the Middle East to waste trillions of dollars and to completely disrupt and send that region into chaos. Now, in the Ukraine region, we overthrew them in 2014. Now we see this is what we get, right? And so now they're preparing us for the next phase of this. We talked about this yesterday. Hopefully this thing's coming to a conclusion here soon. We have the BRICS summit coming up next month, August 22nd through the 24th. And what I'm looking for is for this strategic military operation on behalf of Russia to basically be concluding here shortly, because they're going to have everything that they need. They've, captured the regions, and now it's going to be time to launch the new BRICS currency. And so hopefully we can get peace and hopefully we can move forward. But we know what the United States does to those who turn away from the US dollar, right? So I just, people say stick to crypto. They don't like me talking about politics. They don't like me talking about the Ukraine war. They think I'm like a buddy-buddy with Putin. I'm not buddy-buddy with anybody, okay? I'm just trying to break this situation down and have my audience understand how it's going to affect us back home. If we keep losing through accounting errors and, no debt limit, no debt ceiling, and we just continue printing money and sending it to Ukraine, sending it to your program, sending it to you because you're offended about something, we are going broke. Our country is going to lose the reserve currency status. So that's why I cover this, okay? I'm not here to pick a side. I'm not here to say who's right or wrong. I am going to call out that the cabal operations in that country run deep, and I think that a lot of people are going to be surprised with what they see, but let's let all truth be revealed. And in that note, on that same note, we turn to back home, the internal chaos. Shocking. Well, shocking for some. For us, this is coming at no surprise. Hope you guys got some coffee this morning because this is bad. The Department of Justice gave Hunter a plea deal the day before evidence would come out that he hid over $8 million in bribes from taxes and worked with his dad to punish people who didn't pay. McCarthy knew this and still didn't think it was impeachable. Here's what was exposed. The Department of Justice stonewalled investigators at the IRS, wouldn't let them search Biden's guest house, and tipped off Hunter about a warrant to search his storage locker. Text messages were revealed showing Hunter threatened a Chinese business partner who paid him $6 million by saying the big guy himself, his dad, who was sitting right next to him, that he wasn't made whole. I am sitting here with my father and would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Hunter said Joe was sitting right next to him. This is very serious, folks. And if you go look, right, I call out both sides. I call it the corruption. And in today's episode, I'm going to be calling out every single Democrat on the House Ways and Means Committee voted this morning to hide the IRS whistleblower testimony and keep it secret. So when I say let all truth be revealed, right, and then we got every single Democrat voting to hide and cover this up, a bombshell story and investigation that every American person should know about. This is corruption at the highest levels that we have to call out. If the Republicans were doing it, I would call them out too. But it just so happens to be that every single Democrat are the ones who voted to hide this testimony. Now we know why. It is devastating proof that the Biden family is a criminal organization and the Department of Justice is a corrupt Democrat protection racket. General Mike Flynn retweets. He says this has to end or it won't end well. The Democrat Party no longer exists. It is now the Socialist Party of America. Communism with American characteristics. Wow. I couldn't agree further. I couldn't agree more. We have to find a lawful way to restore what was once a constitutional republic. Pray that our vote continues to count. There is such an incredible level of lawlessness emanating from the stinking rot inside of our federal government, and like a fish, it rots from the head first. Many good people inside of our bureaucracy must stop and consider what they are allowing to happen. We need more whistleblowers to come forward and do so accepting the risk and sacrifice that comes with doing so. Amen. Amen. In God's good name, may these whistleblowers come forward. May they be protected. And may we please save our country. Like I said, both sides of the aisle have sold us out. You got good men and women in those three-letter agencies that are trying to do the right thing. They are in the beast system. It's almost impossible to fix it, right? So we have to cut it off. We have to cut it off. We have to call it out. And we have to press forward. And God willing, we can get our country back. But folks, this is far gone. This is far gone, right? The Democrats have gone from a socialist party to basically borderline communist, fascist, with some of the policies that they would like to implement. And the Republicans have sort of become sort of a nationalist, socialist program for the military-industrial complex, for Big Pharma, and for others, for Big Wall Street as well, right? So we have to call it out on both sides, right? And that's what we're going to continue to do, and that's what we're going to continue to break down on this channel. Now, Robert Kiyosaki chimes in. There's a lot of hot air about are we in a recession or not? The answer is simple. My rich dad said, if your neighbor loses his job, the economy is in a recession. If you lose your job, economy is in depression. KISS. Keep it super simple. Be an entrepreneur, never not need a job. Now, my grandfather taught me that one, the KISS principle. Keep it super simple, or keep it simple stupid. Keep it stupid simple, however you want to put it. And that's something that I've lived by. And I will tell you that back in 2015, when I started to become my own boss, become an entrepreneur, I set out on the same purpose to not have to rely on anybody, not rely on any of these politicians to save me, not rely on any government programs, not rely on PPP loans when everybody was getting handouts, when everybody was doing this. No, we continued cutting checks. We continued showing up. We declared ourselves essential. I was actually told by the state that my company wasn't essential. You know, I was curious to see what they said, so I actually asked them for their permission to keep doing my work and providing my services. And they said, nope, you're not essential. And I said, okay, thanks for the suggestion. I'm going to keep providing my services because I know my community needs me. And so that's what I did, is I continued to show up. And then I also launched my second business, which is the media company right here as well. We continue to keep our audience tapped in every single day on how we can take advantage of this opportunity. And we've been calling out the recession since last year. We've been saying that and warning about a depression level recession that is here right now. And so we've been talking about this recession to-do list, making sure that we secure our income, making sure that we can continue to suppress these suppressed assets before this new system launches, right? And so that's what we continue to do. We're not waiting for anybody to save us. We're not waiting for them to declare that it's a recession or not. We continue to show up every single day, taking action and stacking the suppressed assets. Now, the situation is only going to get tighter, though, folks, because inflation's not going away. The central banks this past week, UK raised rates by 50 basis points, more than expected for the 13th rate hike. Switzerland raised by 25 basis, Norway 50, more than expected, 11th rate hike. Turkey, historic, 650 bips. That's 6.5%, guys. Hiking up to 15% interest rates in Turkey. They're dealing with massive inflation. I think over 70% inflation is what they were experiencing over the last year. And then we have Fed Chair Jerome Powell in the United States. 2 more rate hikes may be needed, right? They're not taking more rate hikes off the table. The market's reacting well to the news that, you know, we got to pause. We got a little room to breathe. And the market's doing what they always do, moving irrationally with a pump, even though they don't realize that inflation's not going away and that there's still even more rate hikes on the table. And as I've been saying, if they just leave the rates where they're at right now, the damage has been done. And just leaving them at these rates will continue the pain into next year. Central banks have made it clear inflation is still a problem. That's why we stack our precious metals. And guys, I got a bombshell few data points on precious metals at the end of this episode for you guys. So stay tuned for that. Just in, SEC has fined JP Morgan a $4 million penalty after they violated rules for broker-dealers to preserve all communications for at least 3 years. JP Morgan claims they accidentally deleted approximately 47 emails. Okay. It reminds me of Hillary Clinton, right? You know, even though we found out that those phones were smashed with hammers. That wasn't an accident, but I'm sure that this was an accident by the JP Morgan boys. And what did they get for it? A measly $4 million penalty. It's absolutely crazy, right? The rules for them, not for us. It's sick. It's sick what's taking place in this country. And as you guys are seeing, I want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Intuitive, for hosting an incredible Troomers only Twitter space last night. The dude is killing it over there. So huge shout out to Mr. I. But they were breaking down this whole thing with JP Morgan funding the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance and the whole Promote Ethereum scandal. I even had time yet because I just got back this week. So we're just getting back in. I haven't even had time to really speak on the Prometheum uncoverings that have happened here recently. But it all comes back to JP Morgan, and then it all comes back. All roads lead back to China. And so that's the situation here, folks. And what do? They get a little slap on the wrist, little $4 million fine. But let's get right into the crypto update, guys. So Fred Rispoli says this is what we've been waiting for. A company and its legal team not acting like little explicitive, scared of the SEC and willing to go on the offense. Billy Boy and Gorgeous George, you're making HODL Law proud. There you go. So MetaLaw Man going to break this one down for us in an aggressive move. Binance has gone on offense against the SEC in federal court case. This is what we love to see. This is what we absolutely love to see. Lawyers for the Binance defendants have filed a motion accusing the SEC of engaging in unethical conduct. This is a big deal. Let me explain. Now, before I get into it, I want to say this doesn't mean that Binance is absolutely clean, spotless, and there hasn't been issues. I do believe that there has been massive manipulation taking place at Binance. I know there has. I know because I've been watching them print. I've been watching how they've been operating with the Paxos treasury with Binance USD, and the manipulation goes much further than that. So they are not clean. They are not 100% innocent. Absolutely not. But neither is our SEC, and they absolutely have been engaging in unethical conduct. Binance has accused the SEC of violating court rules by making statements outside the court that are false, designed to harm Binance US customers and likely to taint the jury pool. Binance asked the court to order the SEC to comply with the applicable court rules. Binance argues that after entry of an order agreed to by the parties, the SEC issued a misleading press release claiming it had secured emergency relief. CZ had commingled and diverted customer assets. The order was essential to protecting investor assets. Binance argues that when questioned by the judge repeatedly, the SEC attorneys were unable to point to any evidence that CZ had diverted or commingled customer assets. Binance argues the SEC had violated not only court rules, but also the SEC's own code of conduct. It's noteworthy that these allegations of misconduct are signed by Bill McLucas and George Canelos, both of whom served as head of the SEC's Division of Enforcement. So, similar to Ripple in hiring legal staff lawyers who were formerly at the head of the SEC, Mary Jo White and Andrew Srasny, former director of enforcement and a chair of the SEC. Okay, looks like Binance is going the same route, hiring two former heads of the SEC's Division of Enforcement. That's always good when you're fighting the SEC. Pull a couple of their own. Accusations of unethical conduct coming from these lawyers will definitely reverberate in the halls at the SEC. That whole place just needs to be demoed. I mean, let's just take it down and get rid of them and go get a real job. The SEC will come back swinging. They will argue their press release was fine because they did not concede what Binance says was conceded. They are allowed to repeat allegations from their own complaint, and Binance's own post-hearing statements were improper. Bottom line, this is just the beginning. Binance is clearly going on offense. The Binance lawyers are signaling to the SEC that they will be in for a real fight, just like the Ripple case. That's what we like to see, okay? We got to continue applying pressure to the SEC. Let all truth be revealed in regards to Binance, their manipulation, what they did and what they've, been alleged has taken place. Okay, let's let it all come out. Let's see what happens. But without a doubt, the SEC is unethical, and they definitely are in the wrong. Now, as we titled this episode, let's get right into it, guys. A $15 trillion earthquake could be headed for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, XRP, Cardano, Dogecoin, Tron, Solana, and Polygon price. Essentially, a $15 trillion earthquake is coming for crypto, a new wave. And this article is from Forbes. A new wave. Major bank reveals a $15 trillion earthquake could be headed for crypto. A survey by Laser Digital, the digital asset subsidiary of major banking giant Nomura, has revealed that 96% of professional investors managing almost $5 trillion are interested and they're looking at crypto. Now, you tack on that $5 trillion on top of the news of the BlackRock, and BlackRock has about 10 trillion assets under management. And so that's where they're pulling these numbers. I'm not going to read the article for you guys, but it's very simple. I was attacked and made fun of for saying that we had trillions that were coming into this space, right? I get made fun of for saying the XRP is going to go to 10, 20, $30 because that would put the market cap at 5 trillion or 10 trillion or whatever that market cap calculation would be. And I've just continued to say that when you have settlement assets that are not only going to have money allocated to them, but you have networks, you have markets that are going to be settling trillions of dollars, right? We go to a new reality that has not been experienced yet. And it's way past and it's way beyond a 3 trillion overall market cap that we got to last bull run. That's what we're talking about right here. I was made fun of for this, right? And the market cap bros came out of the woodworks when we talked about XRP going to 10, 20, $30 price points. And now you're starting to see they're getting ready to come in. But the question would be, why would they be coming into BNB, Solana, Polygon, all these other cryptos? Nothing against them. I mean, their program's not really working out too well. But without regulatory clarity, why would the $1 trillion earthquake, the new wave of liquidity, come into assets without clarity, right? That is the main problem. That's what we've been talking about. And then we've also seen that their program's not working out. Looking at Solana, looking at some of these others, it's a failure, right? It's down every week, down every month, continue to have issues. When we have a ledger like XRP that's been running for 12 years now, no downtime, no flaws, with a massive amount of utility that's coming that gave Ethereum, that gave these other networks an advantage, being the first smart contract native platforms, platforms that had a lot of utility, a lot of adoption, and a lot of growth because they had a free pass. Well, now we're going to have a legitimate pass, a legitimate green light, a legitimate send it, right? When you get a legitimate send it from the SEC, from the Department of Justice, FinCEN, from the United States government, when you're mentioned in every single report from the IMF, the BIS, all the way down, and then you get the regulatory clarity, where do you think the money's going to go? Let me know in the comments down below. We have a $15 trillion earthquake, which is just the start. Remember, that's just assets under management for these groups, for the BlackRocks, for the JP Morgans, and for the gangs of the Wall Street boys and girls. That's just assets under management. We're not talking about the 100 trillion plus bond market, securities market, right? You're not talking about the quadrillion of dollars of derivatives that are about to get unwound. Yeah, that ticking time bomb that's going to blow up, and then it has to get reset and put somewhere. So, guys, I know where I've positioned my chips, the bet that I've made. You guys let me know in the comments down below, where is the $15 trillion earthquake going to be heading? I have a guess, and like I said, all we need is a sliver. All we need is a piece. But it is coming, and that is why we've seen crypto pumping here recently, Bitcoin back up above 30K. And as I spoke on yesterday, I wish that this was it. I wish this was the start of the bull run. I wish this was the start of utility. I wish this was the start of all those flows, all those trillions coming into crypto. But I am worried that we are getting set up once again. They know they have crypto so well manipulated. They're so in tuned with triggering the crypto bots into thinking that, oh yeah, you guys are gonna get rich. You guys are gonna make a bunch of money. We got all these ETFs being filed. We got a $15 trillion earthquake. We get headlines like that from Forbes. Right? That's not clickbait O-face from a YouTuber. This is Forbes, right? But this is setting up for the exit liquidity and another dump down, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I know. I'm going to get some thumbs downs on this video for saying that. But I want you guys to know where I'm at and where I've put my money, right? I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And I am in a Bitcoin short right now, full disclosure. I'm down on that trade right now as we speak. That's fine. Like I said, if we're sending it, I'm strapped in, I'm ready to roll. Okay, that's fine. But I think that they're setting us up here once again. When it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Now, long term, no one is more bullish. Like I said, I think that we have hundreds of trillions and quadrillions that is coming in and going to be settled on DLT technology over the next decade. The process is going to take some time. No one's more bullish long term. Short term, this is how they set us up. This is how they play us. And time again, the crypto space gets played like this. So I want us to be prepared, but it is getting exciting out here as we continue to see The success and progress of Ripple just not stopping for a lawsuit, not stopping for anything. The adoption of CBDCs continues to grow, with many of the world's largest central banks planning to pilot and launch their own digital currencies to complement existing fiat currencies. Some examples include the Central Bank of Montenegro recently revealed a pilot project for a CBDC with Ripple. There you go. There's one of the central banks. In Brazil, the central bank has announced its plans to launch a CBDC in 2024. Now, for those of you guys in the community, you know the ties, you know the relationships with Brazil run deep. I'm going to show you guys right here. Anders shares this. Definitely possible something going on behind the scenes. Take a look at what we're talking about from Cointelegraph. Remember this article from 2020, June of 2020, during the pandemic, during the shutdown, during the panic? Who did Brazil's central bank meet with? Ripple and Brazil's central bank hold closed meetings to discuss institutional matters. Ripple continues to expand its presence in Brazil, holding a meeting with officials at the country's central bank. Partner Solutions Director Central Banks, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Please note, this is for Sao Paulo, Brazil. You only need to apply to one location if there are multiple listed for the job. So Ripple is hiring Partner Solution Directors for central banks located in Brazil. Ripple partners with Travelex Bank to bring crypto-enabled payment solutions to Brazil. Travelex Bank, the first in the country to operate exclusively in foreign exchange, has partnered with Ripple to improve cross-border flows for their customers using Ripple's on-demand liquidity. Not just partnered up with Ripple, not just using RippleNet, using ODL settling with XRP. This partnership marks the start of crypto-enabled payment solutions in Brazil. Travelex Banks is a 100% digital and a 100% personal bank. We were the first exclusive foreign exchange bank approved and regulated by the Central Bank of Brazil. How about that, folks? The ties run deep. Retail CBDC, what's happening around the globe? And they note this in their report. This is from the Boston Fed, actually. Brazil, working with Ripple to build a prototype. Whoa. Yeah, the ties run deep, guys. Very deep. And that's not just it, because we have the Digital Currency Monetary Authority has announced the Universal Monetary Unit, a digital coin designed to accelerate cross-border transactions. We saw that come out. These examples demonstrate that the future of money is digital. Discover how transformation from fiat to digital offers lower costs for basic financial services, increased security, accelerated payments, and reduced energy consumption. Now, I know many people are worried about CBDCs. I have my worries too. I see some CBDCs that are in other countries that are being used to crack down, to surveil, and to limit what people can do, limit their freedom. That's not what we want with a CBDC. This technology can be used for good. Everything has gone digital, so most people aren't going to care whether they're spending PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, sending a wire transfer through their bank app. Most people are used to going digital. Do I still like holding some cash? Absolutely. I don't want them to get rid of cash. But with that being said, it is inevitable that we're going to go full digital. I would, the discussion around our central bank and our Federal Reserve and how unconstitutional they are. They're not federal. There are no reserves, and they're just they're part of the cabal's manipulation of owning this country. That's a different conversation. But this technology is inevitable, and so we want a company like Ripple, who is fighting for transparency, who is fighting for doing things the right way with respect to privacy and individual liberties, right? That's why I've said that I'm a fan of Ripple working with these central banks, is because if anybody's going to do it, this company that's been transparent, that is talking about privacy, talking about respecting individual liberties, that is who I want working with these central banks to say, no, we don't need to build China's CBDC over here. Let's build a digital currency that actually is going to, be more inclusive, cheaper, faster, and enable more services for the people that are going to use it. That is what Ripple is working on. Now we continue on, and we see the setup for the precious metals is getting sexy. Okay, folks, here we go. Rashad Hajiva, gold, 1,915. Present price action is tiring. Just like all the other suppressed assets, right? Silver, XRP, our utility cryptocurrencies. The price action is tiring, but remember what happened back in May of 2019. Gold broke out from a falling wedge and blasted through a multi-year horizontal resistance, adding over 60% in 14 months. Gold's major breakout is underway, which could catapult it to $3,000, perhaps even in a shorter time frame. So on the conservative side of the predictions for gold, many people are calling for a 3,000 per ounce gold, like in the next couple years, right? And he said it could happen in an even shorter time frame. The setup is very clear, and the breakout price could easily be 3,000, right? So that's nice. That's good. And then we move on over to silver. David Blair McCrory. History may be setting up for a repeat performance. Consider the current correction since May 4th to be a duplicate of the March-April correction in 1978. Now, as then, a launching pad being made. Back then, less than $5 silver was preparing to accelerate to $50. And now we're starting at, what are we at, $23? We've been floating between $20 and $25 per ounce here for a while, right? So our launch pad is being built at a $20 price. And we did a 10x last time we did this, from 5 to 50. So if we did another 10x, you're talking 20 to 200. Okay? We do half that, we go 20 to 100, right? And on the conservative side, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I mean, $50 silver, we could be back there in a blink of an eye. We could be back above $30 here anytime now. And why am I saying that? Am I saying that just to be hype, just to mess with you guys? No. I'm saying that because we get news like this, folks. COMEX vaults drop over 3.1 million ounces. Totals reach lowest level since May of 2018. As you recall, we've been sharing that the vault's been dropping by, 300,000, 600,000, 900,000, 1.2 million. Yesterday, we get a whopping 3.1 million ounces getting wiped from the vaults, back to its lowest level since May of 2018. This was the largest one-day withdrawal since July of 2022. Registered dropped 27 ounces. Open interest is now equal to 277% of all vaulted silver and 2,300% of registered silver, folks. You guys can see it. This is why we've been setting up to help folks roll over their 401k retirement account to precious metals, or if you want the metal shipped directly to you so you can hold that shiny rock in your hand, we can make sure that happens as well. The setup's clear as day. Conservative numbers, silver to 50, silver to 100, anywhere in between sounds like a good time to me. Gold to 3K, easily done. Big macro predictions of down the road, you get even bigger. Now, the reason why this setup is so important and why I'm saying you have not much time left, in my opinion, is because remember in August 22nd to 24th is the next BRICS summit. And so as we dropped the video yesterday, we are expecting, and Jim Rickards is predicting as well, that the BRICS countries, BRICS plus dozens of countries that are now trying to join BRICS, are going to launch their new reserve currency. And it's going to be backed by gold. It's going to be pegged to gold in some sort of way. And so that's why we're saying that your time is running out. You have less than 2 months now before the BRICS is about to launch their next currency, right? So be prepared for that, folks. Your time is running out. Same setup with XRP. We're in a staged lawsuit. Summary judgment can come at any time. A settlement could follow up even faster at any time. And the breakout's very clear. Conservative price predictions for XRP. Well, some haters say that we'll never break all-time high again. Good luck. God bless. Let me know how that program works out for you. For me, conservative predictions of $10, easily done. $20, $30, let's have some fun. Long term, can't talk about it. It's a whole new reality that we're about to enter, folks. I hope that you've been acquiring these suppressed assets while you still can. And like I said, tomorrow morning, we got the Discord weekly call at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're looking to join us in the family over there, head on over to my website, zachrector.com. It is all there for the precious metals, for the Patreon group. We would love to have you, okay? You guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. On the way out, please do me a favor, smash that thumbs up. Make sure you have subscribed, hit that notification bell, and we will see you in the next one. God bless.